Hi, welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. Welcome if you are new here and welcome if you are a returning viewer. This fourth Sunday of Advent, Christmas is close. I hope you are well and that you want to join me for some knitting and some chatting, and I will answer some of your questions. Yeah, so welcome. On Instagram you can find me as my North Knit Corner. On Ravelry I'm Strikkekoken Pod, and I also have a group for this podcast there called my North Knit Corner podcast. On this episode I will put timestamps, and anything I talk about, I will put the information about in the description box below. And if you can't find what you're looking for, send me a message on Instagram and I will try to answer. Today I'm wearing my first finished project. It's ranunculus, designed by Midori Hirose, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think it's so beautiful, and I chose to knit the size 1, and I'm so happy I did because it's perfect. It has the right amount of positive ease and it fits really great. I have knitted it in yarn from Garn Fene, a Norwegian hand dyer, in the colorway Ola, and in Sandnes Tynn Silk Mohair in the color dark sky blue. Size 1, needles 5 and 6, so it goes really fast. I knitted almost both arms yesterday. I was done 11:30 last night. I just wanted to be done, so I knitted on. So it was a late night, but it's worth it. So I haven't washed or blocked it yet, and I have weaved in the ends, but I haven't cut them yet because I do that after I washed and blocked it. So they might pop out. But yeah, it's such a great pattern, and I was nervous about the size, but I chose the right one, so I'm happy about that. And it weighs, let me see, 223 grams, so it's not heavy. I have almost 60 grams left of the sock yarn, so maybe some socks in the future. So I had 2 skeins of this, so it's not a lot that goes into this sweater, so that's good. And I think I had 3 balls of the Sandnes Tynn Silk Mohair, and this is all that's left. So that's good. I said I wanted, I should have checked this. I struggled with this last Sunday as well. 3/4 arms, sleeves, yeah. But they are a bit longer, but that's okay. It's okay because I can just drag them up like that, so no problem. I was thinking about making them longer instead, but since I had this much left and I don't want to buy another ball, it's okay. I can have it like that, and maybe when I wash it I can block them so they can become a bit longer, but it's not a problem. Very happy with how it turned out. I love the color, and yeah, perfect to use for Christmas. Yeah, I have one more FO, and I cast that on after last Sunday, so you haven't seen it. Last weekend, me and my husband went to visit some friends, and the daughter there, she had knitted a balaclava for her dad, and my husband said, "Oh, I want one to when I have to go out and shuffle the snow." And I said, "Okay, I'll knit you one." The pattern is only in Norwegian. It's free, but it's on Min Mote. It's a website. I can link it below. I don't know, maybe you can Google translate it. It's really short and easy pattern. And it's called Min Mote Balaclava. It is knitted in Viking yarn, alpaca breeze. It contains 60% alpaca, 11% merino, and 29% nylon. It's in the color copper, the number 357, and this is how it looks. Yeah, I can try it on for you. Anything for you. It might scratch the microphone, but I'll try my best. I don't look so good in it, but that's okay. It's nice and warm, and that's the point. Oh, it looks so strange. I have to take it off. And my hair is all messy now. And you know, when you look at yourself in a screen, I have a screen there, and everything is, when you take up your hand, it's actually the right way now. But you don't really know where to put your hand. Anyway, that was back to the balaclava. He wanted it in a brownish colors, but he chose this one called copper because he wanted it to look like a monk. So yeah, I guess it kind of does. It's knitted with 2 strands of the alpaca breeze, and it was supposed to be 3 strands in the edge here, but I chose to knit with 2 because it gets really, on the pictures of the balaclava, it's really like big, the edge around the balaclava, so I don't think he needs that. So yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it will be nice and warm when he goes out to shuffle the snow away, and he will get it for Christmas. He knows I've been knitting on it, but he hasn't seen it finished, so I will wrap it and give it to him for Christmas. It weighs 120 grams, so I needed 3 balls of yarn, 50 grams, 3 balls, but I only used like 20 grams of the last ball. Yeah, so that's nice. That's all I have finished. Of course, I have a few whips. I showed you last Sunday that I started a sweater for my son, a Barsk sweater by a Knit Story. I haven't knitted anything on it. I said I want to give it to him for Christmas, but that is not happening. I just decided that he will get it when he gets it. Yeah. So he will get something else for Christmas, but the sweater is going to be knit on when I'm done with some Christmas gifts, other Christmas gifts, because the sweater is a big thing, and especially for him. So it's a medium size, and it will take for a man. He's almost a grown man, 16 years old. So it will take some time. So it's a week, or Christmas is in 6 days, 6 days. Yes, so I won't stress with that. But I have a few other things. I am knitting on the calendar hat 2022, which is a mystery knit-along. It's by a lady called Handmade by Mona on Instagram, and she puts out 3 or 4 rows every day for a hat. I am knitting in Rauma Finull in a dark green, and it's called 486, and a light gray 0403. And this is how far I have come. I am a little bit behind, but that's okay. But I've been knitting quite a bit. Yeah, it's a really nice color work. I'm not the best at color work, but the pattern is nice. Yeah, but it's very forgiving with Rauma Finull. It's so good to knit with, and it is rustic, but not scratchy. So I guess this will be for me. But yeah, a nice, fun thing to join. A little mystery knit along in December, and a little hat is over or is doable. I know someone has a sweater knit along, and a mystery sweater and mystery shawl. And last year I was joining a mystery shawl knit along, but and that was a lot of fun. But this is a bit more doable, so a lot of fun to join. And I'm knitting on some beautiful socks from Annie UT Knits, Anina, and it's the Cosy Jula socks. And I haven't knitted too much, but I've just finished the heel, and I will pick up stitches around, but the color work is done, so I can show you that. And now I have red Santa hats and not green, like I told you last time I took the wrong color. Oh, I think it's such a great sock pattern. It's so Christmassy, and I've used some leftovers with glitter in it. So, oh, now I throw yarn everywhere. It's from Spøtegarn, both the red and the green. The green has glitter in it. And I have yarn from Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. If I can get it up here. Also with sparkle in it. And I am using some white drops Flora. And it's only on the wrist, no, leg, this part. So you won't walk on it, so then it's okay with some drops Flora. Yeah, so this will be really nice. This will be my Christmas socks, and when I'm done with all the Christmas gifts knitting, I will start to knit on this again. Yeah, and the last thing I have on my needles is for my 14-year-old son. He wants a hat for Christmas, a new hat, a dark green hat. Oh, I have fluff. And he's not a fan of knitted items. Yeah, understand it. I don't understand it. But anyway, he wants a green hat, and even though he don't like knitted things, I thought, I don't want to buy a hat, I want to knit him a hat. So I will do that, and I will cross my fingers that he will wear it. I'm knitting Hipster Hat by Petite Knit. Another one. And it's in Sanne's Sisu. And I don't have the color number, but it's a darker green, which is what he wanted. And yeah, hipster hat, easy. This is how far I come. So I will be finished with this before Christmas, no problem. And Sisu is really soft and nice. It's usually used for socks. It's with some nylon in it or polyamide. But it's really soft and nice, so I don't think it will be a problem for him. Yeah, maybe just not tell him I knitted it, I don't know. But anyways, he will get it, and if he don't want to use it, someone else in the house can use it. That's okay. That's all my whips. Thank you for your questions. I will try to answer the rest of them today. I have some notes, so I will be looking down a bit, but I hope that's okay. The first question is, how did you learn to knit? All the kids in Norway have to learn how to knit in school. So I guess the first time I knitted was around 9 or 10 years old. That was not a success. No. So I guess I was about 19 or 20. I was living in a house with 10 others. And there was someone there knitting scarves and hats, and so I joined them, knitted a scarf and I knitted a hat on thick needles. Yeah, and then I didn't knit for many years until like 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. I did crochet a lot, pillows and blankets and stuff like that, but not knitting. I was convinced that I couldn't knit, and that it was too difficult to knit. I had never knitted a garment before, and I was convinced that's too hard. But then my husband, he was chairman of a board in a local cafe, and he asked me if I could start a knitting cafe. And since I crocheted, I thought, okay, I can sit there and crochet, and the others can knit if they want. So I did start that, and then at one of those gatherings, there was a yarn shop visiting us, showing a lot of beautiful yarn and patterns. And one of the ladies there, she asked me if I wanted to learn how to knit, and I said, no, I can't knit. And she said, nonsense, I will show you. She told me to buy some yarn for a hat. And so I did, and she cast on for me, and she got me going on this hat, and I knitted a hat, no problem. But when I was done with that, I was like, oh, this was a lot of fun. I didn't remember it was so much fun. So I went to the same yarn shop that had visited us, and I bought yarn for a sweater. From a hat to a sweater, of course, that's logic. So I bought yarn for the sweater, and I knitted a sweater. And I understood the pattern much easier than I had thought it would be, and I was hooked. Yeah, so that was 4 years ago. So I'm very grateful to the lady that was at the knitting cafe, that she pushed me to start to knit, because it's become so important to me. It's what I do all day, and if I didn't have knitting, I don't know what I would do. I would go crazy. So that's how I started to knit. And another question is, what is your most difficult knit? And I think the most difficult one is the Riptide blouse by Pop Knit. Was it this year I knitted? I think it was this year. I can put up a picture of it. It was just a difficult construction. So I used a lot of brain power to find out how to knit this blouse. Yeah, it was really strange construction, and it took so much energy. It was actually not so much fun to knit, but I'm so pleased with the finished garment, so I'm very happy that I did it. But if I knew before I cast on how hard it would be, I wouldn't have knitted it. So that was good that I didn't know, but I'm very happy with it. Another difficult knit is the Marius sweater. Marius is a traditional knitting pattern here in Norway, and my sister wanted a Marius sweater, and I thought, okay, I can try. And color work is not my favorite, and I had hardly knitted any color work when I knitted this, so that was difficult, but I got it done and I'm happy with the result. Yeah. Okay. What city or town are you in Norway? I'm living in a little town outside of Kristiansand, which is south in Norway. Vennesla has 15,000 okay, what's the people living here? 15,000 people is living here. Yeah, it's a very cozy, nice place. It's a little town center with a few shops, and we actually got our first mall, which is really tiny. It's only a few shops there, but it's really nice. I love to live here. I was not born here. I was born in Kristiansand, and I lived there for my childhood, and till I was 17. Then I moved away, and I came back and lived a couple more years there. But then I moved away when I was 19, and I didn't move back. No. But Kristiansand is only 25 minutes away with car, and yeah, I go there sometimes. My dad lives there and my sister lives there, so I'm there. It's actually, I have been to Kristiansand this week, so I've been we've been on a 3D light show, and there's a beautiful Christmas displays there, and I've been filming a bit, so I will show you some pictures and some film from there. Yeah. What traditional foods do you make or enjoy for Christmas? So I told you last time about rice pudding, so that is something that we always have to have on little Christmas Eve, with cinnamon, sugar and butter on. Really nice. But for Christmas Eve, because I know many people, they celebrate on the 25th, but we celebrate Christmas Eve. That's the day we eat good food and come together with the family, and yeah. So we eat, I try to to Google translate it because I don't know what these things are called in English, so I hope it's not wrong. But we eat pork ribs or pork flank for Christmas Eve dinner, together with the good gravy, potatoes, vegetables, yeah, stuff like that. And it's very important to get a crispy rind. I hope it's called rind. The top of the pork ribs. It's so important that it's crispy. It's like a TV show here in our home, because my father-in-law, when he comes here on Christmas Eve, he sits in front of the oven and he looks into the oven to get this crispy rind, and it's so fun. And my husband and my oldest son, and my brother-in-law, they all stand around and look into the oven like it's a TV show, to look and see that the rind is getting crispy. So it's very funny to watch them. Yeah, and they argue about it. It's so fun. And we also have to eat lamb ribs during Christmas. That's important. Many people in Norway eat lamb ribs for Christmas Eve, but I'm used to pork ribs. But lamb ribs we have another day at Christmas. So that's very tasty with mashed turnip and potatoes, and yeah, it's really delicious. Yeah, on to the next. Talk about Norwegian yarn. Your experience knitting with them or bias. I think this is hard because I haven't knitted with a lot of different Norwegian yarns. The one that I knitted with the most is Sandnes, and also Drops. I have knitted some with Rauma, but mostly Finull. And also this yarn up here is another one from Rauma. It's called Pelana, and it's cotton and merino. And it's another yarn that I haven't tried from Rauma. So that's the only two yarns from Rauma I've tried. Finull and Pelana. And I love both of them. So, but they have a lot of different types of yarn, so I can't say too much about it, but I love both those yarns from Rauma. And Sandnes, I love all their yarns. I think everything from Sandnes is great. And if I could choose only one brand, that would be the one, Sandnes. And they have a lot of color variety. And the yarns are really great. I don't think I've tried one that I don't like. Yeah, it's maybe the Sandnes Line, which is a summery yarn, linen yarn, and I can't remember what's in it, but it can be very splitty and hard on the fingers, but the garments turn out really great. But other than that, Sandnes is my favorite. But I also knit a lot in Drops, because Drops is cheaper, and I knit so much that I have to I can't only knit with Sandnes. I have to get things on sale, and Drops is often on sale. Yeah, so I try to vary. I like a lot of Drops yarns, but not all of them. Like I don't love Drops Air, for example. I think it's really like peeling, and yeah, it don't hold up that well as Sandnes Cosy, which is a similar yarn. Yeah, I don't know if this is a good answer or not, because yeah, that's the best answer I have. There's another one, Hillesvåg. I've never tried Hillesvåg, But I've heard that Hillesvåg has very great yarn and many people love it, so I have to try that at some point. And there are other brands as well, but I haven't tried them. So Sun is my favorite. Drops is also okay, but of course it varies between the bases. Yeah, as it always will. Yeah. I think that's all the questions that I got. I hope if you asked me a question that I've answered it. If not, I'm sorry. Try to ask me again, and I will remember to answer it in a future episode. That's all I had for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your warm and nice feedback on my podcast. That means so much. I love to make these episodes, so I really appreciate that you want to watch. I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I want to give you a little Christmas gift. I want to play a song for you that I was recording together with some friends. It's me playing the saxophone, and it's just a little gift from me to say thank you for being here, thank you for watching. I hope you can listen to it and lower your shoulders, put away stress and things that you are worried about, and just enjoy it. And I hope that you will have a very nice Christmas together with the people you love. And yeah, just wish you peace and joy and a lot of good and nice and warm moments. And I will see you all in the new year. Thank you for today. Bye.